thought if there was a pro-right march, he would go elsewhere.
Well, OK, so basically what I'm being told by this interview basically is I should have been...
To you,
well, no, I mean,
people have said,
yes, but these are outrageous things to put to me. The idea, well, it is outrageous to suggest who these marches...
But it was OK for you to put it to me.
Let me answer, please.
If you don't mind.
OK, well, please don't then keep talking over me. You're the person with all of the power here. You're the interviewer, and I'd like to respond to your question, if I may.
Let me just to clarify, Mr. Falter, you brought up the analogy of the black gentleman, and I responded with an accurate situation that had happened this morning. We are out of time, but thank you very much indeed for joining.
An outrageous suggestion that
No, I didn't. It was actual a matter
and you know what?
of fact.
Thanks
for joining us on the programme. Let's bring in the former Met Police Chief Superintendent.
Thousands of Jewish people marching, many of them in an organised...
Not. What rubbish.
They're in an organised block, in a Jewish block. They are warmly welcomed at every demonstration. Some of them have put out public statements disassociating themselves with what Mr. Falter and his organisation were doing at the last march. So that's...
Let him come back to you on that.
First of all, I don't want to continue having a conversation with Ben Jamal.
So you saw how this so-called Jewish guy heading the campaign against anti-Semitism has managed to convert that particular conversation or altercation with a police officer into a full-blown controversy. And how he could do that? Because, as it happens, it's a part of their well-established toolkit. This is what the Zionists are very good at doing. So what he did? He created this altercation, he set it up, manufactured it almost to perfection, then got the backing from the right-wing media, like Telegraph, which decided to have a front-page story for today. And then that particular link was shared by another Zionist politician called Suella Braverman, whose husband, as you know, she's very proud of her husband as being a Zionist. So she quotes that article and she whips it up so that, you know, it becomes a full-blown controversy. Then other MPs from her party join, and it becomes a massive controversy whereby everybody is talking about it. And as we approached Monday this morning, from 5 Live to BBC to Sky News, everybody was discussing as their top story, as if something earth-shattering had happened. I mean, if you weren't privy to these developments, you would have really thought that something earth-shattering had happened, and indeed London had become anti-Jewish, which is far from the truth. As I told you, I mean, these anti-Israeli protests or pro-Palestinian marches have been joined by Jewish and Muslims and Arabs and everybody alike. Because these cunning people have been very clever, you know, in conflating the anger against Israel to anger against Jewish, which is not true. And I told you why they do that, because so that Israelis' war crime or Israelis' brutality, genocide in Gaza is hidden from the public and public attention. And I almost burst into laughter when I saw the fake concern by Suella Braverman about Jews. Have we forgotten that video clip when she, as a Home Secretary, insulted a Holocaust survivor, a child Holocaust survivor? You have to watch this.
I am a child survivor of the Holocaust. In 1943, I was forced to flee my birthplace in Belgium, went across war-torn Europe and dangerous seas until I finally was able to come to the UK in 1947. Now, when I hear you using words against refugees like swarms and an invasion, I am reminded of the language used to dehumanize and justify the murder of my family and millions others. Why do you find the need to use that kind of language?
I won't apologise for the language that I use to demonstrate the scale of the problem. That we mustn't shy away from saying there is a problem. I will not shy away from saying we have a problem with people exploiting that generosity, breaking our rules and undermining our system.
How can you be so cruel, so nasty, so wicked, so evil? How can you have all these qualities in one life and then aspire to hold a public office? So coming back to this controversy, so this morning, this chap, Gideon Falter, appeared on Sky News where he was being interviewed by Kay Burley. And her guests were this guy Gideon Falter and Ben Jamal of Palestinian Solidarity Campaign, a very, very credible name. Now you have to see this encounter. And this is what I say, these Zionists are so bereft of fact because their life is based on lies and propaganda. So the moment they are confronted with the truth, they just run away. So that's exactly what happened. They will bully you because they think they have got money, they have got power, they have got power because they are backed by powerful politicians wherever they live in. I'm a bit careful because, you know, if I say more, then I might be accused of being anti-Semite as well. Because that's a card they play to perfection. So they get the backing of the powerful politicians, the powerful, individuals, people who have lots of money, because that's what they are doing it in America. Using the money power of those billionaires to silence the free speech in educational institutions. That is the fact. You don't like it? It's not my problem. But that is the fact. So he thought he might get away by using his bullying tactics. He succeeded to an extent until he met Ben Jamal. He wasn't expecting. As it emerged, he had come on Sky News hoping that it will be one-on-one interview. There won't be any other guest. So Ben Jamal appears and Ben Jamal talks about, how the Jewish people have been absolutely happy, in being part of those pro-Palestinian marches. Now the guy didn't like it because it's coming from Ben Jamal, who is a very credible man. Now what he says, I do not want to engage in any conversation with Ben Jamal. You have to watch this. This is so brilliant. Save this video. Share this widely because this is exactly how you should counter the lies of these propagandists. So what, they have control over mainstream media. But now we know the power of independent media. We know the power of YouTube channels like Janta Ka Reporter. It has become a powerful brand, all because of you. All because of you. So share this video widely to expose this guy further because this guy has to be exposed.
This conversation, do you think, had there been a far-right march and a black person was walking along the pavement and a police officer spied him out of the corner of his eye, grabbed him and told him, listen, you're being quite openly black, and that might antagonise people.
That's interesting, that analogy.
And we're going, and that
if I may, Gideon, because we did have a black newspaper analyst on the programme this morning, and he said that he wouldn't want to, but if there was a pro-right march, he would go elsewhere.
Well, OK, so basically what I'm being told by this interview basically is I should have been...
To you, well, no, I mean,
yes, but these are outrageous things to put to me. The idea, well, it is outrageous to suggest. It is outrageous to suggest.
A gentleman sat there where you are 2 hours ago, said exactly that.
Let me explain. It is outrageous to put to me that the correct response of Jewish people to these marches... But it was OK for you to put it to me. Let me answer, please.
If you don't mind.
OK, well, please don't then keep talking over me. You're the person with all of the power here. You're the interviewer, and I'd like to respond to your question, if I may.
OK, Ben Jamal, right of reply?
Well, look, I mean, first of all, the narrative is entirely untrue. I would invite your viewers to go and watch the entire video. They will see exactly what happened, and Mr. Falter's organisation has come to try to disrupt every single one.
No, I'm sorry, that's not true. I have not been there at any of your demonstrations.
I didn't say you...
No, I'm sorry, this is not true. You also, I heard as I came on, I heard you saying all sorts of nonsense about what my views are.
From the start of these marches, very early on, his organisation called for the army to be brought onto the streets. The issue is, the problem with Mr. Falter's presence was not that he is openly Jewish. He's not dealing with the fact that at every single march, there are thousands of Jewish people marching, many of them in an organized...
Not. What rubbish.
They're in an organized bloc, in a Jewish bloc. They are warmly welcomed at every demonstration. Some of them have put out public statements disassociating themselves with what Mr. Falter and his organization were doing at the last march. So that's...
Let him come back to you on that.
First of all, I don't want to continue having a conversation with Ben Jamal.
Now, well done to Kay Burley for not falling prey to his tactics. And the way she ended the conversation didn't even allow this chap to complete his propaganda.
Let me just to clarify, Mr. Falter, you brought up the analogy of the black gentleman, and I responded with an accurate situation that had happened this morning. We are out of time, but thank you very much indeed for joining.
Outrageous suggestion that
no, I didn't. It was actual a matter
and you know what?
of fact.
I'd like
Thanks for joining us on the programme. Let's bring in the former Met Police Chief Superintendent, should we?
So what was the highlight of this interview? That Kay Burley counters him with facts. He gets angry with the presenter. Ben Jamal counters him with facts. He doesn't want to continue with his he doesn't want to continue with that interview. This is a cowardice. I mean, if your argument is based on facts, why would you run away? I am inviting him. I'm challenging this chap to come on my channel and answer me few basic questions. Few basic questions. I mean, I've seen the whole video and I presented it yesterday. The guy, in the police officer's words, was being disingenuous. He wasn't there like an ordinary Jewish person trying to cross the road. He was holding his own counter march slightly at a distance. He had already started marching in the opposite direction until he saw the marchers coming, and he thought this is a moment for him to create the sympathy, to make an argument that these marches should be banned, because that is the ultimate agenda. I mean, his organization, nobody talks about it. His organization, Campaign Against Antisemitism, has been Islamophobic. I might make a separate video on that. I mean, Charity Commission should come down on this organization like a ton of bricks, because this organization has been in violation of Charity Commission's guidelines. You cannot be racist against one particular religion in the guise of a charity. Its license should be revoked. And there are various question marks on its funding and the links with Israel and the other entity which funds the illegal settlement in West Bank. All these facts have to be put together, and I might do that in one of my videos. So the guy has a lot to answer. Hence, his discomfort with truth. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.